Greetings and welcome to Season 2, Episode 15 of City of Destiny, a part of the Untold Stories Project. Tonight's episode is titled Spontaneous Me, for no particular reason. I am your host and game master, Aaron. City of Destiny is an actual play of Mutants and Masterminds, the world's greatest superhero RPG, from Green Ronin Publishing, using concepts and themes derived from the Emerald City sourcebook, and is set within the connected version of Earth Prime that can be seen in many other offerings from the Untold Stories Project. Mutants and Masterminds is a D20 based system which allows players and GMs to create stories featuring all of the greatest heroes of their imagination. It is one of my all time favorite systems, and one of my favorite things about it is its inclusion of hero points. Now, these let our heroes re-roll a die, take an extra action, recover from a dangerous condition, or use their powers in new and creative ways. Our heroes each start with one of these hero points, and they can get additional points for good role playing, funny jokes, clever decisions, from me using their characters' complications against them, and by your generosity. If you subscribe, renew a subscription, or donate bits to our stream, you will generate a hero point that can be given to the player of your choice. We are a small but growing streaming network. All of those likes, follows, and subscribes really help grow our PL6 network into the PL14 powerhouses we hope to someday become. So, let's meet our players for tonight, shall we? Say, I totally planned that, heroes.
I totally planned
Totally
that.
planned
Heroes.
that. Heroes. Oops.
Heroes, let's go ahead and have you introduce yourselves. Tell us your name, who you're playing, and answer our question of the week, which is, what is your favorite gaming memory that came about from a purely improvised moment? And we'll start it off with our fearless leader, Alex.
Well, hi, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. My name is Alex Thomas, and I am the line developer for Mutants and Masterminds, as well as the creative director here at the Untold Stories Project. And tonight, I will be playing my favorite moron, Ethan Blackwell, aka Crucible, aka the Speedway Manager of Magnetism. That's for my answer to the question of the day. Yeah, that's for my answer to the question of the day. It's so hard to come up with because so much of what happens at my game is completely improvised. I don't think I've ever admitted this before, but the idea that Sophie was going to betray everybody in the dungeon dimension was a moment of improv.
What?
And that's been a recurring trauma for all of us that we haven't been able to get past. So with that stark confession, I will hand this over to my partner in crime, Aunt Puppy.
Sorry. I'm doing a bunch of stuff and also eating, so I'm Aunt Puppy. I'm playing Keone tonight. To answer the question of the day, I didn't really have time to think about it. Yeah, I don't really know because I feel like most of the things that Keone has done are pretty much improvised by me in the moment because I really have no idea. I like to think of me as just kind of trotting along life and hoping for the best. And so I kind of try to treat her in the same fashion. Um, I don't know. I think the one that was not planned was that I liked the best. It wasn't a specific moment, but it was Ethan and Keone coming together. Because I don't think I ever planned on that being a thing. I kind of planned on her being kind of uncommitted and uncommittable. And so the intention was never to have her with any partner. So the fact that it happened and it just kind of happened organically was kind of nice. And like it didn't feel out of character and I kind of just let it adjust. I was like, you know what? It makes the most sense. So although it was 2 years in the planning of the proposal, so that doesn't count. But the actual relationship, like the starting of it, just kind of that moment and how it kind of just happened was it was nice. I liked it. So I think that'll be my favorite one. And with that, I will pass it to Gary.
Gary playing Cam Cole, Star Knight. Man, 30 years of gaming, I got a lot. Really good one. I had a superhero character who absolutely made no sense when you think about it. His name was Metatron, but he actually had the powers of the voice of God. So he wouldn't speak. He would just blast people with his voice. And he's on a superhero team and can't talk. I did not give him sign language as language. So he's just motioning rapidly, and it led to other people just shouting random things like floob, and floob became a thing. They were like, are we supposed to like interpretive dance this character? It just all kinds of awkward situations. And then at one point I used an extra that the power had based on the game called dormancy. So this whole time he could dorm his powers and be a regular human and talk. He just never did. And I think people were ready to like flip over tables when I revealed that. But it was some good times.
Wow.
Calvin.
Hi, I'm Jemmy. I will be playing our favorite witch with no magical talent, Bella or Hexa. And to answer the question, at first I was like, man, what do I do? I don't know what I can think of. And then I remembered that almost every game I play with my actual, like my school friend group is improv. And I think it's either a tie between when I accidentally completely derailed it because my character was a hater and the free options RGM was like, here, this is what you can go to. She went, yeah, I'm not doing any of that. And everyone listened to her. And I was like, and he's like, I don't have anything then if you won't go to the plot points. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. Or the time when I hadn't written in any story aside from the very vague outline of it, but my friends entered the town and one of them just saw the weird demon character who was meant to be the red herring of like, oh, maybe he's the one who's doing everything, and just went, I'm gonna go follow him since he's trying to follow me, and I'm gonna seduce him. And I just went, you're gonna, what? You know what? I didn't write him seducible, but sure, try it. And they did, and I was amused.
That was your mistake. You should make every NPC seducible just because it's gonna happen.
I in that same campaign, I also went to our pure innocent character who was just on an adventure to get his grandma some money, and as they entered town, the town harlot went right to them and just kind of went, "Hey," and I completely flustered my friend, which was hilarious.
I love that your town has a harlot.
Why not?
Doesn't yours?
Because every good town needs a harlot.
I haven't
You
met
don't
the
live in
harlot
our
of
town.
Brownsburg yet, but we just moved in here.
And
Yeah.
Puppy, you don't live in our town.
No, I was meaning like our town, like meaning
Oh, the game.
City of Destiny. I'm like, that's
Every
Keone.
good town needs a harlot. It's just part of the structure to keep it all balanced.
Wait a
Hey now,
second.
hey now.
I want to hear it.
Go
Yeah,
Harlots.
I was gonna say, in what world is Keone the harlot of this team?
Speaking of town I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
No.
Passing it over to Jenny.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny. I hope that I'm coming through okay, but I think I'm currently in a bit of bad reception.
We hear you fine.
I am playing Portal. And if I start screaming, oh my God, we're going to die, don't worry. I'm not talking about the game. It's just that my son is driving.
Adam.
To answer the question of the day, I think it would have to be the time a player did something so clever that we had to stop the game because we broke the GM and we had to figure out what in the world, how can we actually move past this because we have no idea. And I am talking, of course, of the time that Aaron turned a page of the source book into stone.
I was immediately like, oh, this is my dad, isn't it?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Well, because you got the index of magic.
Yep, works out pretty well.
Complete randomness. We rolled a few hundred.
Yeah.
And with that, I will pass it up to the causer of mayhem and cleverness, our GM, Aaron.
So, my favorite moment, strangely enough, I don't actually remember the moment, but I remember the real world consequence where I actually brought a game to a complete stop. I believe you were playing in it, Jenny. I just don't remember which game it was. And I was just like, okay, I have absolutely no idea how to handle this. And I'm not saying we can't do it. We can. But we're taking a half-hour break so that I can come up with a different idea of what to do next. Just because I loved the fact that there was enough trust there that A, I was willing to let them do it, and B, I was like, I'm willing to tell them, okay, that's great. It's clever. I love it. And I need a minute.
I think it was in Rise of the Rainlords.
I think it might have been.
Which also has one of the best improv moments of when we all started fighting with each other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those are role-playing moments, which are always wonderful.
When we all turned at one moment, when our poor reincarnated halfling yelled out his full name, and 3 different people all went, "Your name is Thief?"
Yep. That said, that makes me think of what is probably my all-time favorite improvised moment. I was playing in a LARP, a Vampire the Masquerade LARP, where they had somehow Death of the Endless from DC Comics had convinced her entire family to take a page out of her book and become mortal for a day. So all of the Endless are at a hotel where there is a vampire convention happening. We're still phenomenally powerful. We're just not gods. I was playing Desire at this LARP, and I was 17. I was much more androgynous then. We got invited to a vampire council meeting, which was probably a mistake on the part of the vampires because a family squabble broke out in the middle of the vampire council meeting. And they got nothing done for about half an hour because we were just arguing and fighting like siblings, and everyone was terrified to interrupt us. So that might be the other one. And more recently, the fact that a certain group of 4 runaways I had no ideas for when I put them inside the Chessman base to be rescued, and now they have all kinds of plot. So,
I knew that was going to happen as soon as you gave them character sheet or character tokens.
I mean, I didn't give them character tokens at first.
Exactly.
Right. So
I believe my response was, "Oh crap, they have tokens."
they do now. A warehouse? Is that like a man who turns into a house? It is now. So when last we saw our heroes, our team was mostly taking care of said aforementioned runaway teens, starting to suspect that there may be more to them than originally met the eye. And then they got summoned to a bus depot outside of time where Caress and Gavik of the Blackguard had attacked a Redshift Energies transport truck. The bulk of the team went to go to respond to that, while Ethan and Raina were having their totally not a date coffee date. What? I just said totally not a date.
This is character assassination. And real assassination. Why am I joking? 1 second.
Which had ended with the decision for Raina to return to the tower. However, because of the battle, instead, Crucible and Flamebird both arrived to help the team deal with the Blackguard members, which, went totally smooth. We left off as the fight had ended and people were figuring out what to do with the captured Blackguard. The team was preparing to return to the tower, and that seems like as good of a place as any for us to pick up tonight. So, yeah, team, you're all at the bus depot. You've got 2 captured Blackguard members. You've got Arena to deal with. What do y'all want to do?
So, Star Knight, you want to call in your friends to, I don't know, you got a prison or something
Yes,
at your home base, right?
They are
Star
already
Knight
on
had
their way.
already, yeah, Star Knight had already contacted the Citadel, who had said that Sri Maria was on her way back to Earth and would take the Blackguard members and return them to the Citadel.
If possible, I want to go to Reina.
What was that?
If possible, I would like to go to Reina.
I mean, you have feet.
Cool. I'm gonna walk up to her and just be like, "Hi, I'm really sorry about our first meeting.
Yeah?
I didn't mean to snap at you."
I mean, I guess, I mean, I get it. I kind of, fried your friend.
Yeah, but I'm
Your
sorry.
friend too.
Well, yes, I mean, obviously my friend too, but
Yeah, no, I was just stressed out. Sorry, though.
Your ex, right? Or did you guys never actually start dating?
We've never dated.
We never dated.
Just tension. Got it.
I ignored that for a second just to.
So I'm guessing secret identities aren't a thing?
I don't bother with it, but apparently I thought they did.
Some of us still do.
Yep.
I assumed
Some of
everyone
us
here
would-
did except me.
Some of us wanted to, but everybody else kept making me not.
I'd have to have a lot of conversations.
Right. You're okay. Yeah. Hi. I don't know you.
And I still have the helmet on, so.
I'm aware you guys were still in public.
Yeah. I just seem to be the only one who doesn't bother with it, but wanted to apologize anyway.
I don't have a secret identity, but I don't go around shouting my name.
Literally only came up with the name a day ago.
I mean, heck, so you could wear a cool skull mask or
You see,
Penny Dreadful.
if I wanted to, I could completely change how my face looked. I just don't care. I don't have any ties here. I grew up in Germany.
All of your family members are powerful witches, right?
Yes. Which also means that normally any of their enemies don't care about me.
Yeah, like wouldn't you be the one that their enemies would go after? Because like they're more powerful than you?
Yes, except no, because it's weird. I mean, yes, but the other thing is they'd have to come all the way here from Germany, and most of them don't want to come to here.
I mean, I can't blame them.
Exactly.
Hey, Emerald City is a very nice city.
It's a very nice city, but you don't filter in your taxes, like the tax for everything with your price, so you have to guess how much you pay when you go to check out, and that's just stupid.
You guys do that? That's way more convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin, don't they do that where you're from?
No,
Oh, they don't do that in Canada? thought
I
they did.
wish.
Many places in Europe do that.
I thought we were the only people dumb enough to not do it.
I got a guy for that.
Congrats.
Well, that's right.
you
Starlight
just,
has an
like,
account.
Do you just call? Do you call him every time you make a purchase? Like, how does that work?
No, I mean
I'm about to go buy McDonald's. Can you calculate the tax for me?
taxes in general. I got people to do that.
Oh, so like under that mask, you're rich?
And famous.
No,
It's Batman.
I'll stop talking now.
Should we like go back to the tower? Do we need to like
Probably.
tell like police or anything what's going on, or
Yeah, I'm still not used to that part.
I
We
have to
call it
make
the Star Cops.
Yeah. And then I'll
You
say
have a
over.
place to be.
Hey, Roberta, can you make the standard call to the police now that we're done here?
Certainly, that can be taken care of.
Thank you. All right, and I'll open a portal for everyone.
Go ahead without me. I need to sneak off and call Riley.
Where should
I'm
we
gonna
put?
be
Oh, sorry.
really late to the interview.
Reyna will look over to Crucible. Why does he need to call the Sentinels?
I'm walking away.
Don't worry about it.
Okay,
Wait, Riley's working for the Sentinels?
isn't?
Yeah, didn't you know that?
I mean, she's the
No,
one who
she
put
said
me in
that
touch
she
with
was
them.
not.
Maybe I
She
misunderstood.
said she wasn't working for them. She said somebody else was working
Oh,
for
that's
them.
right,
She
yeah.
was just helping.
Yeah, that's right. She's working for the guy who's funding them, but she's not working for them.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Also, I'm just gonna look over to Star Knight and just mutter, just say it was the traffic caused by the attack for the
Oh.
lateness.
Well, yeah.
Also, this fight lasted about like 36 seconds.
Just fly most of the way there and change in the alley.
I'm sure Riley has seen the news. Yeah. I was legitimately stuck in traffic before that even happened. So
Mhm.
Hey, Cam. Something that you've never noticed before, and it has never happened before, but you've got a little HUD display popping up that's showing you a text message that just came in on your phone.
He can reply to his texts finally.
It's from Riley.
oh, it's from Riley then.
Star Knight Core brought to you by Android OS.
Yeah, and it
Android.
literally says, "I saw what happened. I've made excuses. Get here when you can."
Sorry, folks, I got other obligations.
Yeah, no,
Get going.
we get it.
I
But
will,
what should we do with your pals here in the meantime?
they're getting picked up.
So
So do we just like leave them here and wait for? That seems like a really bad idea.
You should probably wait until the Star Knights show up. It should be soon. I have to go. I will
Yeah.
fly. I will fly off.
I should have asked.
You really need to work on this juggling 2 lives thing. You kind of suck at it.
It calms off.
I should have asked if they were sending the spider guy. Well, we'll see.
Do you have a crush?
No, I thought it'd be funny.
I was just saying, you just seem to be developing, I don't know, affinities for members of various superhero teams. So, how is Princess, by the way?
Look,
She's great. That wasn't directed at me.
I met a spider and I met a princess, and things. I just meet people with interesting names and histories.
To be fair, you are both a spider and royalty. So
see,
yeah, it makes sense to me.
Crucible gets it.
I still think you're 1,000 spiders in a human suit, though.
Okay, maybe Crucible doesn't get all of it, but
you still think Professor C is the robot?
Professor C is a robot with a pet octopus. I will not be persuaded otherwise.
What?
So, okay, we just wait. Got it.
Yeah, this is the twiddling your thumbs part of superheroing.
Eventually, a spacecraft does arrive. And out of it you will see the former, maybe, Star Knight, Maria. She is not wearing armor, but she is wearing like a uniform and has put a hastily covered her face with a mask type thing, like just like an oxygen mask. And she's like, I guess I'm taking those 2 back to the Citadel.
Yes, please.
Sure, it's fine. Not like I wanted to come back home and see my family or anything.
I'm sorry, I don't know where the Citadel is from here.
I mean, you were there, but I'm guessing you probably don't have the navigation tools to, like... Anywho, no, it's fine. I'll take care of it. Coming back home can wait another 2 days. It's fine.
We owe you one.
So, what?
We owe you one. A favor that you can cash in if you want, anytime. It sucks not getting to see your family.
Especially if it involves going out for drinking and dancing.
Not so much. Maybe you could talk to the Freedom League for me and let them know where I've been for the last 6 months.
I've been hanging out with the Freedom League a lot. I don't think they even noticed you were gone.
I'm sure they noticed. Don't be mean.
I mean,
Crucible.
what
do you think?
What Crucible
Bowman,
meant to say?
Have you mentioned Star Knight once?
That's Freedom League Dark, though, not Freedom League. What Crucible meant to say was, I'm sure they've been so preoccupied with the numerous times that Daedalus has been kidnapped that they've just been a little hyper-focused.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for capturing 2 members of the Blackguard. Gonna go now. Start swearing to herself in Spanish under her breath.
I have a universal communicator.
Yeah.
Ella starts cackling.
Yeah.
I think that went well.
I know 2 of you understand all languages.
Bella will just respond in Spanish. Sorry about this.
You're kind of fading away from your mic, Jemmy.
That sucks. It's literally just my internal computer mic.
Did you move further back away?
Not really.
Okay.
It's just a hater.
Okay. So yes,
I'm trying.
Sri Maria will take the Blackguard members away. Reyna is still kind of looking at all of you with a okay, so now what? Look on her face.
Back to
Cam, you are able to get to your interview, and yes, Riley has greased the skids and explained, that you were stuck in traffic, supervillain attack. It happens in this city.
So what time was it? Was it like a morning show type interview?
Well, it was going to be recorded and then broadcast later.
Okay.
So you were supposed to be there at noon.
Okay.
So the fact that you had to delay isn't a big deal because it was a record broadcast later.
So that point, Riley's probably feeling a little bit better from her hangover.
She certainly is not showing any signs of it.
Oh God, was that just last night?
Yeah.
Yep.
Feels like a month ago.
Yeah, well.
Cam will produce a Gatorade from his bag and just be like, green or orange if you're still feeling out of it.
Oh, I'm fine. You'll notice that she has a Starbase coffee in her hand. All right.
Riley is a supervillain who has the ability to regenerate whenever she drinks coffee.
That's just everybody.
Riley is not a supervillain.
Well, not everybody.
No matter how many times you guys say it, Riley is not a supervillain.
Elwoods would
You did
never
not
be a
disagree.
supervillain.
You did not disagree with her having superpowers that allow her to regenerate when she drinks coffee, though.
Who doesn't?
Me?
I mean, I've
I hate
eaten
coffee.
too, and I still feel better.
I hate coffee.
Oh, hater. That's just a you problem.
And yes, as Jemmy points out, Elwoods would never become a supervillain. So, all right. So,
To the tower.
tower. What?
To the tower.
With the Super Friends scene transition.
Meanwhile,
There we go.
Getting an in sync over Zoom is crazy.
What?
You were like in sync on that meanwhile.
Yeah. So, you guys will take the portal to the tower. And then once you're in the tower and the portal is closed, Reyna will remove her mask and just be like, so I kind of take it at this point that like secret identity is just not a thing you all know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm Reyna. Hi.
I'll take the hand and shake it. Bella. Or Hexa, I guess. I don't know.
You don't have to tell me your name, but hi, I'm Reyna. She says to Spider Queen.
Yeah, no, not to be rude or nothing, but
No, I get it.
so Reyna, these are two new members. We've also got Spider Queen over here, whose real name Jenny has forgotten, but I know, so I have said it, even though Jenny is rambling right now.
can Spider Queen like
Whitney. It's Whitney.
Oh no, not two of them. Because she definitely planned to flip a web onto Portal's mouth, but I feel like if Bella is also gonna say
No, I was telling Jenny.
Oh.
Bella won't out you.
So, I kind of told Ethan what had happened. Do I need to tell the rest of you, or are you going to handle that, or?
I mean, you're the flavor, right? You're supposed to fight Keone at some point in time. Hopefully not to the
What?
death.
What?
Huh?
I don't think she knew that.
I think Ethan knew that.
Okay, so kind of seems like maybe we need to sit down in our big old conference room and
Yes.
have a conversation about old stories.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Time to share information for once.
Okay.
Cindy, are you supposed to fight somebody to the death?
I
I said hopefully not.
explain. Maybe better.
Should we have drinks? This feels like something we should have drinks.
Yes.
Looks over at Cindy. No, I think drinks might not be a good idea right now.
Do you have beer here?
What you guys failed to notice at the party is that Cindy can't get drunk.
Yep.
Okay. So, for the best summary I can give until I contact my mom, which I was going to do soon, there is a prophecy between the Avatar of the Storm and the Flamebird, where they are destined to fight.
Oh,
As
That sounds bad.
bad as it sounds, yes, and as bad as history's records have shown, I don't have the full details on the prophecy and all of the details. I don't know for sure if it is
So-
the death.
so wait.
I wonder who might have all the details. And I pointedly look over at Keone.
Who's the
Yes.
avatar of the storm?
Points to Keone.
I pointedly look over at Keone.
We don't have all the information. I'm
For all we know, you guys could do a thumb wrestling match, and this would be okay. Maybe we could do a charity boxing match.
what? No.
Um,
Yes, it sounds bad. As far as history has gone, the Flamebird has never won, and that has been a good thing so far. But we don't know if it's a bad thing if the Flamebird wins, and I repeat, I am going to call my mom for more information.
And also, the Flamebird has been a bad person in the past,
Yes.
and you're not.
Well, as far back as I can
So-
find.
We're not jumping to any kind of conclusions.
for the record, the only GM hat on, the only evidence you have about who the previous Flamebird avatar was is one example.
Yeah, that's why I said, as far as I know, it's
Yeah,
one
our,
cat.
Yeah.
our known examples.
But that is a sample set of one.
It is,
Which is why.
but
I'm
my
going-
statement is still true.
Yeah.
Which is why I am going to contact my mother, who is a lot more in tune with prophecies and everything.
I don't want to fight Cindy.
Yeah, I would
We
rather
don't-
this not have to happen badly either.
I don't know. We are definitely trying to find a way that this is not going to be like if we could make it a thumb wrestling match, like,
I'll see.
or a really just like a mildly aggressive game of tag.
Here, do you want me just to call my mom while on speaker so that we can all ask her questions?
Alex, you're on mute.
I'm not on mute. Why?
It just didn't
Well,
pick you up.
we hear you now.
Oh, my microphone just doesn't like me.
What
So
did you say?
I said, yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
All right, let me do a quick mental calculation of the what time is it here, what time is it at home?
So it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon in
It's probably going to be, I'm going to guess somewhere around 9 and 10 because it'd be about 6. Wait, no. 2, 3, 4. It's 9 o'clock in England. Don't know.
It is a 9-hour difference. So if it's 1 o'clock
It's about-
here, it is 10 p.m.
Okay, that's not too bad. Mom's probably still up. So yeah, speaker call for mom.
Okay, so you call your mother.
Yep. she picks up.
And it will go to voicemail.
Shit. Hey, Mom. This is kind of an important call about prophecies, so I could really use your help. Call me back when you can.
Okay.
And then just the, well, shit. 1 second. I could go knock myself unconscious, but that would only get my sister here.
Okay, let's do that.
That's our plan.
I don't think we're at that step yet.
Also, I repeat, only would get my sister.
I think we're still at the point where we can wait a bit.
I was also joking.
Okay. The good news is, we should have. Well, I don't want to say that and be too cocky. It's about anywhere from possibly like 50 years before you have to fight. But
So we're going to be like 75 years old and like hitting each other with our walkers?
as far as I know, at least in Cindy's case, I think you're immortal until then.
You're being really quiet about this, Cindy. Why is the new girl explaining everything to me?
I mean, I did also kind of explain it all to her the first time, so.
That's fair. But also, Keanu's trying really hard to not be big mad. So.
Oh,
Did you explain it to her? Because, like,
but Raina doesn't.
Wait, you explained it all to her? But so wait, when you met with your grandmother, she didn't tell you anything, or your mother, they didn't tell you anything about this?
Oh no, they told me. Just Bella was with me the first time, and my mother didn't really add anything to it because my mother refused the mantle. So she didn't really have very many answers.
I mean, at least you had someone to talk to. I had a big fiery bird that appeared in my living room.
So that's how it works. I just see Bella just scribble down a note.
That's disconcerting.
What
Sorry,
did the bird say?
I've had no info about your side, so I'm really interested.
The bird told me I was chosen and was its champion, and that I should use its powers to make the world a better place, and asked me if I accepted. And I said yes, and then my brother started being an asshole. And you guys kind of saw the side effect of that. Yeah. But it didn't say anything about an avatar or having to fight, or that it was like my best friend's fiance.
There's a little pause from Bella, and then I guess I don't have evidence that it is you. I mean, it's possible and likely with the timing, but I don't know. Once again, there's very little information about the Flamebird's side that I have, so.
I mean, Big Flaming Bird shows up and says, "Hey, do you want powers and fight for good?" When we're looking for a flame bird, seems pretty on the nose enough for me.
Especially because it was right around the time when Keone just got the mantle given. Yes, it makes a lot of sense, but there is still the fact that correlation isn't always enough to go off of, especially when it comes to prophecies.
Yeah, because wait a second. I thought, like, when we were hanging out, Cindy, you said, like, you've had your powers since, like, forever.
Yeah, I've had them since birth.
So
Not all of my powers, but there's some other things that have apparently been happening to me. Like, watch
Wait,
this. And she, oh no, she's already turned off her flames. Never mind. I was gonna, I was gonna do something dumb, but I'm not gonna do something dumb.
Aw,
You
boo.
could do something else, dumb.
I was gonna throw a snowball at her.
You could.
I don't know, I'm just not gonna. She's trying not to be big mad, but she's still kind of big mad.
Sure.
So yeah, no, she's gonna do it. She'll throw a snowball. So she'll make like a little small snowball and just kind of say like, "Watch this," and we'll kind of throw it at her. I'm assuming since she couldn't feel the snowball the last time.
It dissipates before it actually hits her. Yeah. So there's kind of a moment of and then that's like I don't even have like my fire shield up. So like, what's up with that?
I hope that didn't count as your fight.
I
I mean,
don't like-
can it?
I kind of hope it did.
I don't.
Like that would be great.
It would, except that I repeat, we really don't know what
That
happens
doesn't.
when Lambert wins, so I guess maybe not. I don't know. I would love to ask my mom this, but she's not picking up apparently.
Reyna is going to ignite one finger and just kind of poke it towards Cindy. My finger is off camera. And it will
What happens.
extinguish right before it actually makes contact with you. Okay, that's... So we're supposed to fight, but apparently we can't?
I think it's
Well, yeah, we can't have them duking it out before fight night. Everybody knows that.
might be it
And by everybody, I mean I just made that up on the spot.
in terms of how prophecies work, I guess it might be before the time that the prophecy is set to come to fruition.
It's us. Perhaps. What would be the verb there?
Okay, I have more questions now than when I came. I thought I was gonna answer questions for y'all, but
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting to have this conversation either, but
Welcome to being a superhero. No answers, just more questions.
can I not?
There's no more not. You get the powers, there's no more not.
yeah, I don't.
Spider Queen has a whole saying about it. You should say it, Spider Queen.
Yeah, when you got the ability to do a thing and stuff, and ooh boy, you really put me on the spot here. Triple I.
Plus, Marvel is owned by Disney now. We don't want their IP lawyers after us.
What?
Pardon?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
If you could do something about the bad things happening and you don't, then the bad things are your fault, or something like that.
With
Something
big
like that.
duties comes big problems. I don't know.
You said dude.
Mo powers, mo problems.
You know what? That's a simpler way of putting it.
There it is.
All right.
I knew we'd get to it eventually.
Bella.
Yeah?
There is a note in front of you.
Oh, great. That's not ominous. What's the note?
In a beautiful cursive script, it says, "My darling daughter,
Oh God.
if something is urgent, maybe use magic to contact me instead of the telephone." And as soon as you read it, it will evaporate.
Yes, but
I'm going
with
to-
the phone ring then.
Quickly pull out a paper that pretty much will do the same thing for my mother, because this is how she wants to communicate this. And write back, "Mother, my friends need to talk with you too. So I thought that a call might be best for the speaker ability. Love you." And send that off via magic.
Okay.
Stupid mother, love her, but
Do you explain to anyone else what just happened there, or?
nope. There is just the angry muttering in German that comes from the love my
Okay,
mom.
but what?
Swear to God, magic
what
doesn't
are
always
you-
work.
But what are you muttering in German?
That.
Okay. So I take it your mom has gotten back to you somehow?
Yeah. And hopefully we'll get a call in a few.
Okay.
You will not get a call. However, a astral image of your mother will appear suddenly in the conference room.
Jesus Christ.
Well, hey, that's even better.
Whitney pulls her mask back on tightly.
I assumed you had the mask on anyway, since Reina was still in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Portal just said her name anyway.
Sure, but
It's
I
my
don't
mom.
know
If she
one
wanted to know
Whitney
who
in the
you were,
city.
she'd know.
Portal did not say your name. Portal rambled about how Jenny couldn't remember your name.
Yep.
Oh, that was the okay.
okay. That was a fourth wall break.
Fair enough.
Well, yep, just gonna turn. Hi, Mom.
Bella, so you have some questions regarding a prophecy?
Yes. And I'm going to gesture to Kione and Reina.
Oh, is it that time again?
Apparently.
Yes. Well, congratulations. You're both the avatars of remarkably powerful cosmic forces. And yes, you are supposed to battle. It happens roughly once every century.
Yeah, we have questions about that.
It's not exactly my area of expertise, but go ahead.
Not mine either, but I think you have at least a better chance of experience. How deadly does this battle have to be?
Well, according to when I spoke with Aurora, it's always been to the death.
Cool.
But does it have to be?
I don't know.
Okay.
I suppose you'd have to ask the entities who actually empowered them.
How would I do that?
Oh, that would be easy. Well,
Really?
incredibly dangerous, but easy.
Cool. Details?
My favorite combination.
Yeah, I think if we could call up these gods or whatever, we should talk to them.
Sure. How, Mother?
You know how to open a door to fairy, right?
Yeah. They're Fae?
Oh, you haven't put it together. I assumed you would have by now.
Okay. Wow.
I
been a
cringe
busy
at that.
few
Like,
days, Mom.
ooh, like I flinched. Like, ooh, that was. Oh.
She will literally point to Kione and say, Mab, and then point to Reina, Titania.
They're Fae.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, her name's Kione.
No. Obviously, these two lovely ladies are not Fae.
No, but the force is at. God damn it! Of course, the Fae are using others to.
And yes, for most of recorded human history, Mab's champion has defeated Titania's champion.
Most.
Wait a minute. Isn't Mab like the bad one?
That is a very simplistic view of it.
Yeah, but too simplistic. But
Hi, all I know about the Fey realm is A Midsummer Night's Dream, which I only half paid attention to because I was sleeping through most of class.
Yeah.
I forgot people.
Don't
believed
mention that play in front of Titania.
I forgot people believed that one.
But yes,
Okay.
so
I
yes,
didn't say I believed that. I said it's all I knew.
you could speak with the fairy queens and they could probably give you more information. Of course, like I said, that's incredibly dangerous. I don't necessarily recommend it.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We could end up giving them a favor that we have to give back at some time in the future, and one of us decides that we're just going to be their slave for an indefinite amount of time. I mean, what are the chances that somebody would be that stupid?
I mean, or we could just go hunt down Thomas Reimer and give him back to one of them.
That's a pretty good plan.
I don't know. I feel like I would trust just going up to them themselves than dealing with Thomas Reimer.
I hate him.
I would prefer you not try to do that.
It would be so... Alright.
First of all, it wouldn't go well for you.
No. It could, but...
And secondly, there are reasons that he needs to stay here. He has...
Is he Sex's father?
Does he have paternal obligations?
Probably.
Well, yes, Elflight's his daughter, but
It's Thomas Reimer. He has probably 500 bastards.
but no, it's more that he has a role to play in the balance between fairy, and for him to go back into the fairy realms to either queen would be bad.
If we have to negotiate with one, I think Titania might be easier to contact and talk with, but...
But shouldn't we actually try and contact them both? Because, like, what little I know, wouldn't, like, going to just one really piss off the other? Like, it would be some kind of insult?
So, yes, but also no, but also it's complicated.
See?
It's Fae. It's never simple.
I mean, well, yes, you would know that.
Well, I mean, I did try to contact Fae for familiar stuff, and that didn't go well either, but whatever.
Great. Speaking of, where is Durhas?
I don't know. Where is Darhas?
He's not with you at the moment.
He's somewhere in the tower. Who knows? Probably sucking up to get attention.
Cue to the rabbit just nestled in Keone's cleavage.
No, because you would notice that.
I would
Yeah,
see-
Keone wouldn't be big mad anymore.
No, actually, Durhas is currently sitting on Jet's lap and getting lots of love.
I was
See?
gonna say, I assumed
Sucking
he
up.
was with one of the teens.
Yep.
He's probably doing something else. I could always, I guess, ask him, but he'd be even more vague.
So, yes, the prophecy has always required that the two of you fight. In the past, it has always been to the death. I don't know that that's required. I do know that it needs to be definitive, because otherwise
I'll be mad.
Titania and Mab won't accept the victory. If it's at all in question, they'll both try to claim the victory.
And we don't want another fight between them.
No. But yes, as I said, for pretty much all of recorded history that I'm currently aware of, I can do some more research and ask around. Yes, the Avatar of the Storm is always one. Sorry. And it's like, I don't want to fight her. Yes, but I also assume you don't want to die, so.
Not in character laughing there.
But we don't know that it's to death.
Yes, but
No, we don't. I'll look into it and see what else I can find. As I said, it hasn't been a century. It feels like this is a little early.
Did it get moved up because of mom refusing the mantle?
She's looking at Keone. Your mother refused the mantle?
Yeah. And then went into super deep hiding
That's yeah.
and gave me up for adoption, so I didn't know any of this until like a week ago. Even though it's been on my character sheet for 3 years and I haven't noticed.
Really hammering the fourth wall this episode.
Right.
Shatters.
GM's feeling a little attacked here.
It's more of
just
a-
gonna be like, yeah, Mom, I used magic to fix a family and get caught up in their lore.
I knew Aurora had a falling out with her daughter, but I didn't realize it was that serious.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
Also, I think I earned her respect? Question mark.
Yeah, she made it to where even her mom couldn't find her. So, like, couldn't scry for her, couldn't find her in any way, shape, or form. It was a lot of skill on Bella's part and a little bit of luck.
I took a guess that it might have been a family blocking from scrying, and it seemed like I was right.
Good thinking.
I mean, if I was trying to hide from you, that's what I would do.
It would make the spell more effective if you can target a single person to block.
If you're running away from a group of people, it makes sense to
Right.
block them.
Right. No, that makes sense.
So yeah, I might have Aurora's respect. I didn't know you two knew each other.
I mean, I haven't spoken to her in almost a century, but
Definitely more than a century old.
what?
Nothing.
But yes, our paths have crossed. We know each other.
Yeah.
Okay, Aurora mentioned that she hadn't talked to your mom in almost a century.
Exactly. That's why it was so more than a century old. Definitely more than a century old. I don't think Aurora realized I was also. I think she was like, "Oh, I didn't know she had a second daughter."
She didn't.
Yeah. So yeah, I was the surprise also because I don't think she knew that I existed. She seems to know that my sister existed, but
Well, yes, everyone magically sensitive knew when your sister was born.
exactly.
Not to hammer home a point, dear, but
I've understood. Sis got the magical talent. I've got the books.
and you've done very well with them.
Thanks.
Oh,
So,
wait,
yes.
did you say looks? I thought you said looks.
No, my sister has that too.
You're both beautiful.
Thank you, but we can both admit objectively my sister is the one people look at first.
In any case, I will see what I can find out about the prophecy, see if there's anything I can tell you.
Thank you.
I would recommend you don't just immediately reach out to the fairy queens.
I will try not to, but I'm also going to say you know me well enough to know that having suggested it means it will be in my head.
Right. I shouldn't have told your sister to give you that message, should I?
I'm still wondering what's going on in New Orleans. I had no interest until you said that.
That was a mistake.
What's going on?
Nothing.
That is such a lie.
Nothing you need to worry about at the moment.
Well, now I'm worrying.
That also sounds like a lie.
There are a lot of magical things that are happening all over the world at any given moment.
Yes.
any one of which could be dangerous.
Uh-huh.
There's a situation in New Orleans going on, but there are people there to deal with it, and I just don't want you caught in the crossfire.
I repeat, I had no plans of going until I was told explicitly not to.
Well, you moved to America. I was worried that you'd go to the dumbest place in America to be.
I told you where I was going.
Yes, but Americans go all over their stupid country.
Okay, it's also way bigger. It's so much harder to get over
Yeah,
there.
you know, it's like 2,000 miles to New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and you were in outer space.
Fair.
Yeah, that's true. Still, it's a lot harder to get anywhere. They'll drive for like 2 days to go to a concert. They're weird.
Fair. Regardless, look, if I knew you were going to be in a neighborhood where there had been a murder, I would tell you to stay off of that street. It's the same thing.
Who's being murdered in New Orleans?
Lots of people.
What the hell is going
all the
on in
time.
New Orleans?
New Orleans is a mystical nexus.
Oh
and
shit.
There's currently a whole thing involving the underworld and the Greek gods, and the muse is there, and
The old guy?
no, the new one.
There's a new one?
Yes.
Huh.
Regardless, it's just a mess that I don't want you to get involved in.
Okay. I repeat, had no plans on going.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Anyway, yeah, I'll try
Oh, man.
not to contact the Fae Queens yet until you can get back to me.
I really hope that kid we met at the Pride Parade a couple years back is okay. Hope they're not going there.
Shay Portal knows exactly where that kid is.
Exactly, you know where that kid is.
Yeah. Well, I know where that kid is supposed to be.
Well,
I also know that kid. So,
Point.
alright. Sorry, thank you, Mom.
She will vanish.
So more questions than answers again. Great.
but she's going to try and get us more answers.
Yeah. And
So we're going to be a little patient before immediately going to
I'm,
talk to the queens.
I'm waiting. My mom has a lot more contacts.
Oh, no.
than I do.
Sorry, that was not. I wasn't admonishing anyone.
Yeah.
I was just like stating that's our plan, because normally the first thing we would do is find a way to go talk to the queens and stuff.
I mean, it's actually really easy if you know how to open a door to Fae, and but that's here or there.
You're making it more tempting.
Meanwhile,
we should
Raina
talk
is
to
just
them.
kind of. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I think we should talk to them.
Do you want me to contact them? I could, but I did just promise Mom, so we should maybe wait till tomorrow at least.
We should probably give at least 48 hours.
24 is more what my mom expects from me.
If we can put a stop to this before it becomes a bigger problem.
Well, I doubt we can put a stop to it, but we can at least get info.
Well, more importantly, Raina, Cindy, what do you two want to do?
Yeah.
I don't want to fight her. I would prefer she doesn't murder me.
I mean, not even a fun little Nerf war?
I mean, look, I'll happily, break out Risk and we can go at it on the table. But
Because, again, the little I know about Fae, they're sticklers for the word of the for the letter of the law.
Yes.
Like, we just need to find out what that is, and I'm sure we can find some ways around it. Now, granted, that will probably then piss them off, and we'll regret that to the end of our days, but
I mean,
that's a future Stormbreaker's problem.
if we go clarify with one of them first, or clarify with the exact wording, yes, they'll be annoyed, but they also do kind of respect that a little.
All right.
Drinks.
I think I should probably go.
Why?
Because this is hella awkward.
Sorry.
Exposure therapy. But more importantly, you should be here when we get this information.
You've got my number. Also, I think I was just on the news fighting alongside you guys, and I've got a team who's probably wondering what's up with that.
All right.
Tell him we said hi.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm looking right at Cindy. I'm really sorry. I thought when I said yes that like all of us would become like closer and we could all like hang out and stuff, and I feel like instead this is all a terrible, terrible nightmare and it's my fault. So I'm gonna go. Can you like open a door to the outside? I'll just fly.
I open a portal.
Okay.
Hey, Raina, before you head out of here, look, I know you and I don't know each other very well just yet, but this whole superhero thing, you're kind of diving into the very deep end of it, especially now that you're dealing with otherworldly magic stuff and some entity that's providing you power that you don't entirely fully understand yet, which Spider Queen says very pointedly, feeling the weight of the amulet that she is wearing. But you've got a lot of people here who care about you, and you've got two whole teams of people who got your back. So whatever space you need now, you can take it if you want it, but you don't have to go this superhero thing alone. Don't make the mistakes that high school me made.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna, like I said, go back to my team and let you guys work out whatever it is you have to work out. And you've got my number. Yeah, thanks. Bye.
When she's coming by me, I'm gonna stop her, give her a hug, look her in the eye, and say, "We're still friends."
Yeah.
This is the worst case scenario. We will find a way around it.
Right. No, of course. I get that.
No, and I look her in the eyes. You need to really get that. You are our friend.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell your team what's going on. We're going to need really good communication between our teams as this all unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to suggest the opposite.
I know. That's a bad idea.
Maybe don't tell them anything.
When has don't tell them anything ever been a good idea?
11 seasons of the CW Arrowverse.
I'm going to point to the 9th, 10th, and 11th season as the counterexample.
Yeah, I'll talk to them. Yeah. No, yeah, of course we're friends. Yeah. I'm really sorry.
There's nothing for you to be sorry about.
And she's gonna leave.
And as she's going out, I'm gonna yell again, "Nothing!" and then close the portal.
Yeah, I think that went well too.
About as well as we could hope.
Keone. Hey, so not to be weird or nothing, but I heard Raina say she didn't want to fight you like half a dozen times, and couldn't help but notice you didn't say anything in response. And I don't want to be judgy, because you know it's been a day, it's been several days. But I just wanted to ask, you know, maybe it's easier to answer while she isn't here. You don't want to fight her either, right?
We can't hear you.
I said,
thought it was
sure.
just another pregnant pause.
Sure. Yeah, sure. And she will just casually take a sip of her drink.
So I'm gonna repeat my question from earlier. Do we have beer in here?
Yes, of course we do.
I mean, speaking as a GM, from the perspective of the German girl, no, they do not have beer here.
Oh, that's gonna be the first comment of
We
the.
have established in the past that Mars makes a point of substituting our crap with good quality stuff. So there was Natty Light, and it has been substituted for good beer.
It's still American beer.
Mars is not drinking American beer.
Is Mars importing good beer?
It's Mars.
2-year-old white guy. Natty Light is good beer.
I mean, I think Mars cares about the liquor selection and definitely the wine selection. I don't think Mars really pays that much attention to what beer is in the fridge.
There's just the. Oh no, you got this shit. Never mind. No. Go whiskey.
Yeah, it's probably stunky anyway. We don't really do beer.
I'm going to import some of my home beer, and you will understand why it can be good.
We probably won't, but we'll appreciate the whole, you know.
I promise it is nothing like you have tasted with this shit. And then she's gonna go get herself some whiskey instead.
And she finds like a cabinet full of Johnny Walker Black.
Sorry, I have to say what my dad just sent me.
The Glenlivet is only 15 years old.
American beer is just like making love in a canoe.
What does that mean?
Means
You
it's
can
gonna
say
rock
it.
your world, but not in a good way.
Lots of fun once you've practiced enough.
Full of water?
It's fucking close to water.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Like,
Oh. So yes, I will make you understand one of these days why people can enjoy beer, because what you have is not beer.
Ooh, we just saw a subscribe from Doc Void.
Oh, thank you, Doc Void.
Time to subscribe.
I like to think the it's fucking close to water line pushed him over the edge.
Doc Void, that means you do have a hero point to give to the player of your choice. All right, so yeah, you guys are back to just yourself minus Star Knight. Although, Cam, your interview is probably taken about as long as
This.
I was about to say, probably this is about the time that Star Knight comes back. So
Yep.
what did I miss?
So what did I miss? Is you see the 19-year-old chugging whiskey?
Day drinking. Oh,
Well, well, Mr. Jefferson, you've missed a lot.
Ha!
Where have you been?
France.
What the fuck was your interview in France?
Yeah, no, nothing too important. The sun comes up and the world still spins. But we had a conversation, and we learned some very important Fae-related details. Which, I mean, it's not really my thing, but you're part of the team, so you should know the things that are going on here. By not my thing, I mean not my backstory. I mean, it's Cindy's, obviously. But she's being real sketchy right now. I don't want to say anything too loud because I don't want her to hear me. I don't know if she has super ice hearing or something.
Super icy. I don't think that's a thing.
No offense, Whitney. I think anyone can hear you right now.
But anyway, turns out our two elemental friends here are representatives of Fae Queens.
It's time like this, and I'm glad I have armor on, so you can't see the expression on my face.
So there's a knock on the conference room door.
What?
There is a knock on the conference room door.
Spider Queen will web open the door. Just thwip and then yoink.
Okay.
And Jet is standing there holding Der Haas. Keith told me that he needed to come back to you.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
good, bunny. And he'll hop out of her arms.
I'm gonna bite back the comment to call the bunny an asshole.
You seem like you're very busy, so, bye.
Thank you. Hi, Darhas.
Hello. Called your mom, huh?
Yeah. Do you need the rundown?
Huh?
Do you need the rundown, or do you already know?
No, I already know.
Okay, thought so.
Yeah, don't call the Fae Queens.
Yeah, well,
You knew this whole time you didn't say anything, you little asshole rabbit?
I told you he's a dick!
Wait, hold on. I knew she talked to her mom, because, like, that's a whole magic thing that I can feel.
Yeah.
And I know what they talked about, because we're, like, connected. And I know that it's just a bad idea to talk to the Fae Queens.
Well, duh, but, like, as I said...
I didn't know that the beautiful lady over here was connected to the Fae Queens.
You are such a suck-up.
Keone will be like, uppies.
Leave that bitch on the floor.
At this point,
leave that bitch on the floor.
At this point, Cam goes over to the computer in the conference room, opens up a web browser, types in Google, "What is a Fae Queen?"
To be fair, Keone's just been nodding along, hoping that someone will explain to her what that means.
There will be that moment of the, oh, you don't, okay. So, there are two
It's one of those things where you've gotten too far deep before you ask the question, so you just nod and you're just like, yeah, I totally get it.
And you hope someone else asks the question.
Yeah, you just hope somebody else either asks the question or they just start explaining it without prompt.
Okay, so, Darhas,
Yeah,
do you want to explain
Cam just Googles it.
But the big thing I want to know, though, Gary, is how does Star Knight spell Fae?
F-A-Y.
That's gonna be what actually tips Bella off. That's the no. Okay, let me explain.
Hold on a second, buddy.
Oh, minus interest. He knows that.
Der Haas just kind of goes, yeah, no, magical realm of fairy connected to Earth, very directly connected to Earth. In fact, like there's a whole primal connection between the two realms, and what happens there reflects here and vice versa. Fae is split into the Seelie and the Unseelie. And the Seelie are associated with light and summer and growth, and the Unseelie are associated with death and cold and but like there's the whole like cycle thing. So it's like a lot of dumb humans think that that means that like one side is good and the other side is bad, and that's really a vast oversimplification, because the truth is it's instead of black and white, it's more like orange and blue. Their philosophies and moral codes are so unrelated to what you think of as good and bad that they're both.
And Titania leads the Seelie, and the Unseelie is Mab.
Right, yeah.
Which means that Kione is tied to Mab because of ice and the Avatar of the Storm, and Titania is tied to the Flamebird and Reyna because it's fire. I mean, not, but yes.
So, yeah.
And yeah, they do lots of different ways to fight things out instead of directly fighting, because when they directly fight, things get bad.
Yeah, the dinosaurs really didn't like it the last time they fought.
Yeah.
Text appears in the New Breakers text group. So glad I'm wearing my helmet.
Wait a minute, the dinosaurs were killed by fairies?
Did
Right,
I
you
say
don't
that?
know
I didn't
that
say that.
stuff
I
when
didn't
you're
say
not.
that, but
Whitney will
Yes.
text back, yeah, I'm glad I have the mask too.
It's probably just text. I'm so sorry, I couldn't give you the crash course beforehand.
Yeah, I
and-
like that you guys are texting about something that Bella is a part of.
Yes.
Like Bella's telling you these answers, and you're like, guys, this sucks.
Yeah.
No, so Durhas is like, I mean, I didn't say that. I totally didn't say that, but yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's more complicated than that. It's not like Titania and Mab like came to Earth with their armies and like started slaughtering dinosaurs, but when they fought, that was what caused the whole Ice Age thing.
Yeah. So we try to not have them get into direct combat. Ever. Which is why when they have these little petty ways and we figure out about it, we normally just let them. But, I mean, I don't want you two to have to kill each other and fight, so.
Yeah, Durhas, do you know like the specific wording on this whole
No,
thing?
I mean, I had no idea that like any of this was connected to. I mean, I'm not a Fae creature. I
I know, but you're just really smart.
am, but I don't know everything. And then the bunny kind of cranes his head around to look up to Cindy. But you know, if it comes down to it, you can totally kill the bitch.
That's not.
Yeah,
I
they
like
just
her more
bets
than I
him
like the
harder.
other one.
One thing that might be beneficial, even if it's not to the death, if their fight is like kill the dinosaur levels, I mean, at least we can go to another planet.
I mean, that would only what would happen if the two queens fought themselves.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to evacuate a planet? Because I do.
Well, I'm saying an uninhabited planet.
A quote.
That is a quote.
Please. Just, do you have any idea how hard it is to evacuate a planet? Because I do. That's great.
Not like that's had repercussions across 4 different shows now or anything. Yeah, so now what?
Well, I'm going back to what I was doing, day drinking.
Well, if we're not going to, and we probably shouldn't, it sounds like, if we're not going to go knocking on these queen's doors,
At least not right away.
I was doing a little research into that rat guy those teens mentioned. I got a name, Pack Rat.
I will stop day drinking.
Oh, don't let me interrupt you. If
No, I think that's important.
well, in any case, I learned a bit about him, about his history and everything. He had some connection to Morgenstern Labs, but he escaped them. I'm not too sure yet why he's working with the chessmen, but seems like a lead worth hunting down.
Well, I will add his name to the whiteboard along with Faye, Fay, Queens.
And I will walk over and rewrite that as FAE.
Oh. Thanks.
Fine. Most don't know. Modern media ruined
I mean,
it.
the bunny will kind of go, at least he didn't spell it Fairy.
Yeah.
The bunny just kind of stops for a moment. Apparently, I know how to spell English.
Wait, yeah.
But should you not?
I mean, I'm not speaking English.
You're not?
Okay.
No.
Oh, right. You all hear him in English.
Okay.
Magic. He speaks true. So whatever you are most familiar with is what you hear.
Oh, that's why he sounds like an idiot to me.
I hope you know, Ethan just earned so much respect from Bella for just calling her bunny an idiot.
I'm taking a step away from Ethan so that when the lightning bolt comes down, I am out of its path.
Bella will try not to laugh and then go, sure, I hear him in German. Which is why it was also surprising to hear you spell in English.
Do you know what happens when a crucible is struck by lightning?
He conducts.
It's one of my biggest weaknesses, actually.
Same thing that happens to everything else.
Everything else.
Like when he got
No.
struck with fire and insulated himself. I saved your life from that. I gotta make jokes about it.
But look, in any case, if you want to deal with more ground level problems,
Yeah.
I learned some more about the guy, but I don't exactly know where he is. I don't know all the haunts in this city just yet.
Yeah. And anything non-magical, I'll be on board for.
I mean, that's going to be a little hard to avoid with like half this team, but I get you. I mean, I studied mythology, but I still approach it as like, stories and things to learn about. All of it being real is a bit of an adjustment. So I'm down to find a weird-looking science guy and punch some information out of him.
Sure. I mean, that works with me.
All right, so I mean, I'm tossing to the locals here. If you were a 6-foot rat man, or I should say rat that was turned into a humanoid man, I don't know, I'm thinking sewers. Or we could just hit the streets and
Sewers or dumpsters, pizza joints.
Cheese factory.
Yeah, maybe he's a pizza rat.
I mean, wherever turtles might hang out.
Mm.
Messing with Turtles Entertainment cheese here, y'all.
Chuck E. Cheese.
All right. Well, while the heroes decide how they want to try to track down Packrat, that feels like a good place for us to go ahead and take our break for the week. So we will come back as they figure out what to do next. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for sticking with us through our break. We are still the Untold Stories Project. This is still City of Destiny, episode 15, Spontaneous Me. And we left off with our heroes having had a whole lot of drama, almost making a newly minted superhero, hopefully, cry. Finding out that they probably should not contact the Fae, and then deciding, you know what? Why don't we go beat up a rat guy instead of dealing with our actual problems? Am I leaving anything out?
The fact that none of us really have detective skills to be able to find rat guy.
Well, there is that.
I mean, I have some investigation because that was kind of what brought me here, but not much.
I have magic.
I got investigation and streetwise.
I also have.
I got nothing. I don't think rats are made of metal.
No.
In fact, they are not.
I mean, let me find my character sheet. But I have a lot.
Do the rats have nanites?
No.
I've got pop culture and investigation and yeah.
Are they extra dimensional rats?
Also no.
Rat.
So, what would you guys like to do to track down said rat man? Pack rat. Squeak.
Does he have like known associates still? Like I think that bio listed some people that he has connections with, but I don't know that that's still the case.
Yeah, so, let me pull up.
That, or we could figure out where the teens were kidnapped and see if there's some connection between the areas.
Was it the rat who kidnapped the teens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's going to line up with what I'm going to do.
Yeah, maybe with that knowledge, we can hang out where the teens are hanging out and see if we can attract any rat-like attention.
I mean, we could just ask our teens where the teens are hanging out.
And I guess I'm 19 and short.
Well, you know, we rescued them, so.
No, I'm saying like if we find where they end up, we can use me as bait.
Bait, gotcha, yeah.
What did we say that we were going to ask the teen 1, teen 2, teen 3, teen 4 where they were kidnapped? See if we can plot that on a map and then see if we can triangulate a pattern within it?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
what we
that
said.
sounds
Okay.
that sounds good to
I
me.
mean, I can even disguise myself.
I'm
to look
also going
younger.
to add in any other sightings of large rat men because I am thinking back and trying to remember, well, what did Raven always do when she was trying to find someone? Oh yeah, the first thing she did was
Murder board. No.
murder board.
So Calvin, to answer your question, Pack Rat does not have a lot in the way of like known associates. He has a ring of petty thieves called the Rats in the Walls who work for/with him. And he is on good terms with the Menagerie, which is an animal rights terrorist group formed from other escapees from Morgenstern Labs. He does, however, work for pretty much anyone who can give him the things that he is looking for.
Because there was some connection with the Chessmen and Morgenstern, I think, through Ethan's dad, if I'm remembering correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They kidnapped his dad.
And
Well,
yeah,
the Chessmen took his dad.
Yeah.
But yes, his dad used to work for Morgenstern.
okay, so Morgenstern.
And
himself
in
knows.
fact, Ethan, if you wanted to take a look at some of the projects that your father had been associated with,
I'll take a look.
you might see a connection. Maybe. I don't know.
It is Ethan.
I've been Pack Rat this whole time.
This is my surprised face. For the record, you'll note that I said it is Ethan and not it is Alex. Because I can very easily see Alex going, yep, I figured it out in half a second, but Ethan will never figure it out.
Ethan's looking. Anathema Ascent Storm Viridian.
One of those is familiar. Yeah, Ascent. Pack-Rat was part of the DNA Ascent or Ascendant project. Or, well, that's the technology that Morgenstern used, I should say.
Did my dad make Pat Rat? Is like Pack Rat like my brother or something?
He is not invited to the wedding if he is.
No, Ethan. Pack-Rat is your father.
No, that doesn't sound right. I don't think my dad would do that to us.
Your dad is actually your grandfather.
What?
That is a rat, but
That would make as much sense as anything else that's happened today.
yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought Tommy had told you a little bit more about each of those projects. I thought he dug into that and found it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe he did, but he hasn't told me yet.
Okay.
Looking at things we might know, we learned
So-
that the
Oh, go ahead.
we learned that the chessmen were modifying the DNA Ascent program with Silverstorm nanites to find controlled methods to give people powers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why they kidnapped Dr. Kane, because they needed her help working on something to manipulate DNA. But that's all I have on the DNA Ascent program. I did a Control F for DNA in my notes, and it keeps bringing up all the times I wrote down kidnap. Which is surprisingly many.
It happens a lot.
Spell kidnap without DNA.
Yes.
Daedalus.
But yeah, so yeah, there is definitely some connective tissue between Morgenstern, between Pack-Rat, between the chessmen, between what Dr. Kane was doing, and probably what Archer was involved with.
Doesn't give us much in the way of clues on to follow up with, but it's good background information to have.
Could we get Tommy to look into more about DNA Ascent or Morgenstern?
Yeah, but he's a pretty good detective.
Yes.
I'll give Tommy a call.
Okay, so he'll pick up the phone because he's currently over at Aegis.
Hey, Tommy, do you have any more information about DNA Ascent? Or could you look into it for us?
Sure.
We're trying to track down more information about this Pack-Rat character because we think he might be the next best lead that we're following up.
Okay, let me see what I can find, and I guess I can even take a look into the some of the Aegis databases and see what they can pull up. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Thanks, I love you.
Thanks.
Love you too. That wasn't for you, by the way. That was.
No, it's fine. I don't love you either, Tommy.
I do, but just shut up. He hangs up. So yes, you could certainly try to plot locations based on where the teens were kidnapped from. You could always just, hit the streets and try to beat information out of people.
Hey, Cindy, do you want to hit the streets and try to beat some information out of some people?
I mean, kind of,
Yeah, that's your love language, right?
pretty much.
I don't know how good an
Well-
idea that is, but
While they do that, I am going to interview the kids
Uh-huh.
and also research potential sightings of pack rat to try and create a map of
Sure.
stuff.
So the kids will, easily tell you where they were taken from. They were not all taken together. In fact, they were taken some time apart in most cases. I do not have my map of Emerald City directly handy, but it was scattered around the city. In every case, they were near or at a encampment of homeless people. They were not like up completely by themselves, but
Any infrastructure, easy access to sewers, subway
Yes.
entrance, things like that.
Oh. there is always easy access to sewers close to where they were taken from.
Okay. So we have sewers and encampments. I am going to go ahead then and try and just plot out all the current encampments that are near sewer entrances.
Not counting the ones where the kids have currently were taken from. There is one likely candidate,
Okay.
which is actually right off of Emerald or Yellow Brick Row, kind of underneath one of the overpasses across, by the river.
Okay.
So there's an encampment under the overpass by the river down on,
Is it in a van down by the river?
I knew someone was going to do it.
had to happen. But yeah, you have one likely candidate.
Okay.
Crucible and Keone, without anything more specific to go on, yes, you can definitely find petty criminals to beat the snot out of. Most of them don't have, or not most of them, none of them know anything about pack rat.
But you get to let out some aggression.
You do get to let out some aggression.
Yes, and Keone probably would have also made food for the homeless encampment people when we went there. So she would have beat people while she handed out food.
while?
I mean, like, it's fine. Like, she
I
can do
support
both.
this.
Her most of her weaponry is distance, so she can stab while also handing out food. She's multi-talented.
What are Star Knight, Spider Queen, and Hexa doing?
Well, if we have a possible location, the new breakers can work on setting up a trap.
Yep, I can, I mean, I guess it's a little bit of like, you could see Bella's like sketching out, like, do we want to use me as bait? Because, like, if so, I can disguise how I look. So, like, and there's like a quick sketch, and it's like, I could use makeup to look like this and just, look very different and a lot younger.
I mean, I could always just throw up an illusion.
Yeah, that's basically what I have the ability to do with this. And she'll pull out a little makeup case.
Oh,
Do
dang,
you
okay.
think Pack Rat is still going after kids, though?
I mean, I think the chessmen are still in operations in other places, right? It might be.
They just
Yeah,
lost
we
all
took
their
all their
test
kids.
subjects. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Terrible.
also, if it's, I guess if we know it's in the sewers around, sewers can't be too hard to track through, right? Like, I don't know. There has to be something that leads back in the sewers.
So this particular encampment has, because it is, underpassed by the river, literally has like one of those big grates that you can walk, open the gate and walk through to go into the sewer tunnels.
Does seem like a good place to put you for bait.
Yeah, I can go do that.
Yeah, I can perch somewhere up high so I can see.
Have we given the new team members communicators?
Yes.
Yeah, they have comms.
Turn on your locator.
Yep.
That way we can be there as soon as you give the signal.
Yeah. Sure. And I'm gonna stop for a second so while I'm here I can get that makeup applied.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have to roll for that.
You do. You have to make an expertise art check.
Cool. $30.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty convincing disguise, as long as you don't get wet.
Are you sure you don't want to come to Hollywood? You could make a career out of that.
It's just magic. If you need it, I could give you some.
It's just magic, because that somehow makes it less.
Right?
It's all she's grown up around.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I'll go out and be some bait.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna change clothing to look more raggedy.
Assumed as much.
Yeah. And just kind of be sitting near it.
Okay. Are you going to talk to any of the other people who are there, or just kind of try to?
It's definitely play off more of the shy, I don't know how to reach out to people vibes, to just kind of be a loner.
You could always, not speak English.
Especially because of that. Just go into the German. And she did have an accent before she learned to speak book.
Right.
So she'll get the accent out even just to make it more convincing.
Sure.
Throw out some broken English sentences if anyone tries anything. Of the just like, no English.
Okay. Well, it sounds to me like probably what we need is a deception check.
Alrighty then.
The plus 20 to the deception check is not going to apply for this. It would apply if anyone was trying to figure out if, is this girl Hexa? But
yes.
That's different from selling the no. I'm actually
Easy
homeless.
hero point.
Sure.
I got fucked on that roll. That's better.
Okay.
27.
27. Okay. I'll come back to you because
Great.
it's not like that's gonna be something that's gonna resolve instantly. It's gonna take you several hours of being down by the encampment and probably waiting until nightfall. And
oh yeah.
So, what else are other people doing until nightfall? I know Spider Queen, you said you were gonna, put yourself up somewhere to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, she's finding a high perch somewhere she can stake out the location. But since this is going to take hours, there's going to be a few points where she's just like unconsciously touching the amulet she's wearing. Like after this entire day of conversation about people who are representatives of these otherworldly entities, these mythologies made real. She is looking at the Anansi symbols on this amulet, and she is just questioning things because for her, she thought it just looks like this. This is just the design on it because it's related to the powers it gives. But now she's like, is there someone on the other side of this?
That is a logical thing to wonder about. Are you invisible or just hiding?
She's keeping her distance, but she'll go invisible because she doesn't want to take any chances.
Okay. Give me a stealth check.
Okay. Stealth of... Ooh, I can do way better than that. Gonna spend a luck point.
Okay.
For a... There we go, 34.
Okay. All right. What about Star Knight?
I will probably, if it's going to take hours, Portal can get us there, so I will stay in the tower. The tower doesn't have an AI, correct? It doesn't have a super smart computer, is it?
I mean, there's Roberta.
Yeah. This will be the spark where he's probably going to start talking to Roberta about his project.
Okay. Roberta will, will happily listen, but will also say that, while she's been programmed for administrative functions and, operation of the facilities, she does not have the kind of deeper ability to, innovate, but that you should probably talk to Tommy about it.
Good enough for now.
And, Tommy will be, by evening, Tommy will be back in the tower. Probably looking over all of Peter's, notes and assessments and going, yeah, no, that tracks. That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, shit. I need to talk to Ethan. Ethan, are you still out beating up random people?
Yeah, as long as Cindy wants to.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm on comms, though, if he wants to get in touch.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
we probably wouldn't be out for very long because if they weren't really giving us a whole lot of information, we've got bait. We'd probably see that we weren't going to get anywhere with anybody. We'd pass out the food that I made and then probably head back. So we'd probably come in like a little bit after Tommy got there.
Okay. Yeah, so I good news, bad news. I was able to find a little bit more about Morgenstern's Project Ascent.
It's the bad news.
The bad news is you're pretty much right. It was actually specifically kind of focused on so Ascent was focused on the genetic manipulation of the genes which produce superpowers. And most recent efforts are around uplifting animals with said process. So
Packrat's a rat who became a guy?
Probably, yeah. I found some stuff on the other programs that your dad we're on your dad's computer too. If you want to know, it's probably, I don't know if
I
it's
mean-
relevant, but
I don't know if I want to know, but I probably should know.
Well, I'm
yeah.
really glad I didn't get too comfortable with his dad.
So Anathema, as best we've been able to pull from, interrogations and spy and whatnot, it is a program where they are trying to find ways to counter magic with technology. Which makes sense because big corporations don't necessarily have a wizard on hand, but if they can have a technological magic blocker, that would actually be really useful. I should work on that.
Makes you wonder why they wouldn't seek out white, they do white hat hackers. Why not white hat magic people? I'm sure there's some nerd with a bunch of books who wants to make a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could ask our magic consultant. He's kind of a quiet, secretive prick. I think most wizards are kind of quiet, secretive pricks.
I think you just answered my question for me.
Yeah. I mean, you seem cool, Bella, but you're also a witch, not a wizard, right?
Bella's not here.
Oh no, Bella's not there.
She's just offended in spirit.
She felt a disturbance. She was like, someone's making fun of me. It just feels it.
She's like, they could just fucking ask me. What are they even talking about? I don't know, but they could ask me.
We said most.
Yeah. So yeah, I already told you about Ascent. Storm is specifically looking into the Silver Stormers. And as best we can tell, they managed to find some people who were affected by the storm who didn't necessarily openly become superheroes or supervillains. It just kind of kept their powers quiet and vivisected them.
Infected them?
Vivisected.
To find out how the storm worked and how it changed people's biology and all that stuff. Yeah. And Viridian is I don't understand why, but it was connected to looking into the Viridian stones that are around Atlas Mountain.
What are the Viridian stones?
I mean, they're gemstones that are local to the region that don't seem to really exist anywhere else, as far as I know.
These are projects that your father was involved in, or these are projects that chessmen are?
They were projects that were on my dad's computer.
Yeah. But do we know whether they were your dad's projects or chessmen's projects? Because, I mean, he kept his computer while he was being forced to do chessmen's work. So it makes sense that their work would be on his computer.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. Tommy, did you find anything out about that?
I'm sorry, I was gathering my thoughts. What was that again?
Or do we know that these are projects my dad was involved in, or are they just chessmen projects or more concerned projects?
I mean, they were all on your dad's computer, along with the data was fairly corrupted. I was only able to get partial recoveries. He was either overseeing or directly involved with all of them.
Well, are there any dates associated? Maybe if they were dated before he was kidnapped, then we would know that they were more him and not.
Well, no, I mean, they're all his records, so none of them are from after he was kidnapped.
Okay. We weren't clear on that, of whether it was research put upon him by Chessman or research he was doing on his own.
I mean, I don't know. The Chessman might have had him doing more, but it wouldn't have been on his personal computer that was in his house after he was kidnapped.
Oh, I thought this was the laptop that we found.
No, it was
At
the one I took from my dad's house that had the demagnetized hard drive.
Okay. Sorry. Too many computers. You know I get confused easily.
So, who is a native of Emerald City? Is it just Ethan?
I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ethan, what you know about...
Well, yeah, here, right now is. I would say because I think Professor C might be a native.
No.
No.
He's been there for a while, but he's not a native.
Okay.
So, in the Atlas Mountains, particularly near the slopes of Mount Stanley, there are a lot of veins of crystals and gemstones, including obsidian, quartz, emeralds, obviously. And then there are stones that are called either Viridian stones or Atlas emeralds. Atlas emeralds are a form of green meteoric telkite, similar to moldavite. The Viridian stones are multicolored minerals, which, like I said, don't really seem to occur anywhere else in the world other than near Mount Stanley.
I'm sorry, did you say Kulkite?
I said green meteoric tektite, similar to moldavite.
Okay. So we're not building a Death Star.
No. Mining has also been restricted in the Atlas Range since the early 1900s. So, but there are still Viridian stones that can be found, for sale in jewelry by local jewelers, especially like heirloom pieces that have been handed down.
You said since the early what?
The early 1900s.
Okay.
And occasionally the one will occasionally be found by like a random hiker in the area. So.
Are there any kind of reports of magical resonance or
not
use
that Tommy
as a transit? I don't know. Is there is there?
Not that Tommy was able to find.
Okay.
Maybe you could ask your local witch.
I could, but she's not here right now.
Exactly. So. All right.
Why was mining restricted?
Largely because the mines were tapped out, and then also just for environmental protections were put in place of, we want to keep this area, wooded and, a beautiful place of nature as opposed to a stripped out.
So nothing about the stones themselves.
Again, not as far as any official records show.
Cool.
So, all right. Anything else before we get into late evening and we can find out what's going on with the stakeout / bait? All right. Hearing nothing else. Spider Queen and Hexa I would like both of you to give me a perception check. Spider Queen, you are going to be at a -5 to this check because of distance.
30.
With a -5, 18.
Okay. All right. So as the night, comes on and it gets to be dark, Bella, you kind of, it's, late summer, early fall, so it's not too terribly cold at night. But there are still, fires that have been built by various groups of people. A lot of people are clustered around the fires, but I'm assuming you're staying back and away.
Yep.
Okay.
Further away from the fires, closer to the sewer.
Yep. And you will, kind of be trying to do the, paying attention, not falling asleep. And then I need you to make a will save. Or fortitude save. Sorry.
Okay, so say will save.
Fortitude.
Damn. Better odds on will save.
Huh?
I said I'd rather a will save.
I know you would.
21?
21. You will drift off to sleep.
Fuck.
Whitney, you will see Bella is, laying in her little nest, looking like she's falling asleep. And then you will see a shadowy figure kind of creeping up on her.
Well, shit.
And gather her in its arms, and then scurries back over to the sewer entrance.
Ooh.
I had the location on at least.
You
do. Would Whitney think that Bella is actually sleeping or trying to be really tempting bait? The plan was to be bait.
Yeah.
The plan was, but...
I mean, you know that Bella can, stay up all night. She's done it before. It's unlikely she would actually have fallen asleep.
Yeah, no, this is clearly an act, and the plan is working, so we're on to phase 2.
I was like, oh wait, what would I have said before? Because I feel like how much would we have briefed before doing this?
As much as you want.
Cool. Bella would have said, as soon as I am in the sewers, if I don't immediately start screaming over the comms, assume it's going bad.
Okay.
Because once in the sewers, she's confident to not let herself get kidnapped. Fully.
Except.
Well,
so if after you see them go in the sewers, you don't hear anything, it might be
That being the case, she's going to do a couple of things. She's going to hop down. She's going to say over her own comms, the rat took the cheese. I'm following into the sewers. And she is going to do a cool swing and follow into the sewer entrance.
Okay. I have 2 important questions for you. A, are you trying to be sneaky, or are you willing to let Packrat know that you're trailing him?
Ooh, no, we gotta be sneaky. We gotta catch this guy in the act or wherever he's going, so she is going to try to be stealthy about it.
All right.
But with definitely letting the rest of the team know.
Sure. I am not going to force you to track because Bella's comm has a tracker, so you definitely know which direction and where she's going. But I would like you to give me a stealth check.
Okay. That I can do. That I can do way better. Spend that last luck point. Okay, well. But at least with the luck point, it's 29.
Yep. Okay. You do not believe that the rat is aware that he is being followed by you. And I'm sure you're like probably up on the top of the...
Yeah, she's crawling along like the roof, or like the top of the sewer. Just
not just running on the ground.
Yeah.
What is your speed?
While
crawling.
Let me check. Because she does have a swing speed, but her crawl speed. She does have speed 2, so she can move 120 feet per round. Where is her wall crawling?
So if you have 1 rank of wall crawling, your wall crawling speed is one rank below your ground speed. If you have wall crawling at rank 2, it is the same.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find where I stuck her movement powers.
Yeah.
I see her leaping. I see her speed. I don't see where her web crawling is. Oh, nope, there it is. Okay. It was under her web stuff.
Makes sense.
Web movement. Wall crawling 2. Okay.
Okay. So then, yeah, it's the same as your ground speed. It is a good thing that you have the ability to use the tracker because he is moving much faster than you. One might almost say twice as fast.
Ooh. Then she is going to whisper over comms. He's moving pretty quick. Does someone have the tracker? Well, is someone looking at the tracker right now?
Yes, I am.
Can you put a portal like right where, or right like after where she's been? Or do you have to know where
that's
you're putting
why I made sure she had her tracker on. As soon as
Okay.
she comes to a stop, as soon as they get to like their destination, we're gonna pile in.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like you had to know where you were putting it, like, that we don't end up going through a wall or some shit like that, or if it's just as long as you know the location you're putting it and it's within your range.
Well, yeah, it's got to be within my range, and I've got to know the distance. If there is something blocking, if it were to open into a wall, it won't open at all.
Okay. Okay.
I love getting myself kidnapped and then not being a part of this.
Don't worry, we got this.
God, I hope. My life is literally in y'all's hands.
All right. So
Maybe for a week.
How far away is Pack Rat at the moment? Because he's gaining, or he's pulling away at least.
Mm-hmm.
Spider Queen does have mini tracers.
Okay.
We do have a tracer on Bella, but would Spider Queen be able to toss one onto
Pack Rat?
Pack Rat. Requires a successful attack check to plant a tracer on a target, or a sleight of hand check. Oh, it seems more like as written, it's intended for like a close-up thing. I'm not sure if I can.
Yeah, I mean, it is intended to be like, but I would allow you to make a ranged attack to do it, but I think by the time you got into the sewers, you were already at a point of he's out of my visual range. I just know which way I'm going to follow him.
Okay.
So
then she'll just keep following.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's always throwing those spider tracers on people.
He is. And if you had been close enough when she was taken to throw one, I totally would have allowed it. But
fair. I think she just underestimated how fast Pack Rat would be.
Yeah, no, I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, you're pretty fast. You probably assumed you could keep up with the rat.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so after about 15 minutes of Packrat carrying Bella, it will come to a stop and seems to not be moving away from where it currently is, or where Bella currently is, at least for now. So, Portal, are you wanting to go ahead and open up? You're on mute.
I'm going to wait for Whitney to get a chance to get a little bit closer to get visual inspection that this is indeed the spot.
Okay. I have one other question. How subtle were you when you were asking the teens about where they were taken?
Not even remotely subtle.
Okay.
I explained to them why I was. I told them, like, we're trying to find Packrat. He's the guy who took you. We need to know where you got him so we can try and figure out where he might be operating from.
Okay.
Portal is an open book 99.9% of the time, because he is firmly of the belief that secrets among allies is a bad thing.
Fair enough. All right. So Whitney, you will eventually catch up, and you will find that you're basically in a abandoned water treatment facility. You know, in the sewer. You know, connected to the sewers. There's a lot of open space. You can see that there is a kind of like a canal in the middle of, like, you know, like there's places for people to walk, and then there's like where water is running. On the canal, there is a small, like, 2-person watercraft. And Bella is currently laying on top of that watercraft. When you get into the room, you do not see Packrat.
Then she is just going to move as quickly and quietly as she can towards the watercraft.
All right. Are you gonna, you know, let the team know, or are you gonna say anything to them?
Yeah. She doesn't know. I mean, she's not gonna know, like, the building where she is, but
No.
she will describe at some sort of water treatment facility. There's like a boat here. I think Packrat loaded Bella onto it, but I don't see him.
But Packrat is not there.
Well, I don't know that he's not here. I just know I don't see him.
All right, let's stay put for now. You just keep an eye on things and let us know what's going on. Let's see how this plays out, because we have no way of tracking Packrat, so everybody jumping out, I don't think is going to gain us anything.
Aaron, can I spend a hero point
What for?
to edit the scene to say that I know how our comm links feel magnetically, and I can track Bella?
Sure. I won't even ask for a hero point. I mean,
Didn't you use our comm links, like, literally last fight?
Yes, I did.
So you know how they feel from today's experience.
yeah.
I'll
So-
just close my eyes and I will figure out where Bella is, and I will try to help guide the group that direction.
But we know where she is. She's right there.
We know she's with. Isn't she with Packrat? I thought she got taken.
Yeah, we have my tracker on.
She got taken. We've been tracking her this whole time.
Oh,
Yeah, he just moves real quick.
The problem is Spider Queen has caught up to her, but Packrat isn't there.
gotcha.
Or not visibly, at least.
Yeah, he'll
Oh.
dropped her off and left the room.
So I think we should just stay put and see what happens. Because it's not like we can follow Packrat at this point, and let's just let it play out.
Um,
Is Packrat was they were doing gene manipulation, right, with him, not nanite manipulation with him, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
The DNA ascent process is separate from
Okay.
Silver Storm nanites.
No nanites to track.
Nope. I mean, yeah. Anywho, so after a couple of minutes of you watching, the boat powers up on its own and starts to move down the canals.
Oh gosh. Hey gang, this boat's leaving.
You're on mute still, Jenny.
Can you get on and hide?
Is it large enough for that?
For you to hide on it? Probably not. I mean, we're talking basically a slightly larger jet ski.
She can do illusion concealment.
Then in that case, yes, you could. You could probably leap down onto it and make an illusion that you're not there.
Yes.
Or just turn invisible, I guess.
Yeah, that is what her invisibility is, like illusion concealment.
Yeah. So then, yes, you could leap onto it and ride it with Bella.
Then yeah, she will do that. She will land in a cool spider crouch on the rear of the boat.
That nobody sees because she's
that
invisible.
Nobody sees.
But she knows.
The readers of the comic can see the, outlined figure.
Yeah. It is a very cool outline. All right. So just keep following her. It looks like we're going to miss out on pack rat, but we'll get to see. Maybe it'll take us to bigger fish.
She won't answer out loud because she's only invisible to sense. Well, I mean, she's invisible to all senses, but not electronic devices or anything. So, but she has heard that message.
All right. Well, as the watercraft takes two of the newest members of the Stormbreakers into the sewers, I think that's probably a good place to pick up there next week. Or not next week, in 2 weeks. Because...
Nope, because 2 weeks is the last week of the month.
Oh, well, crap. I guess 3 weeks. But we'll be taking off next week because next week is Origins Eve, and Alex is busy, and I desperately hope that I am not still trying to prep things for Wednesday. So, however, news around our network, tomorrow night, we have something special waiting for us here on the channel, but I will not steal the person who is running its thunder and let them talk about it. And yes, City of Destiny will be back in, I guess, 3 weeks. So, heroes, let's pass it around the table so everyone can say goodnight, plug whatever they want to plug, and all of that. And we'll start with Jenny with an N.
Well, nothing to plug as per usual. I mean, it's still Pride Month, so I'm still going to show off my Pride nails because they're fabulous. But other than that, be kind to people, especially yourself. Name twin.
Thank you all for coming. It's always funny when I guess I can say I've gotten myself kidnapped as a joke and then actually tried to bait out a kidnapping and got genuinely kidnapped. Yippee! But make sure to come back tomorrow because I will be playtesting a game I will be running at Origins, which is Untitled Geese Game, where it is a lovely convention, and my players are horrible geese. Homebrew rules, lots of chaos abound, and I'm hoping you all will be willing to tune in. That's really all I've got though, so make sure you be nice, take care of yourselves, we love you all, and I'll pass it to my friend on the boat with me, Calvin.
Yeah, I want everyone to imagine that very cool panel with Spider Queen on the boat. Like she's on like the tips of her feet and her fingertips are attached to the boat, and then like her cape and her web skirt are like billowing in the wind as it's heading to who knows where. That's where my head's
Playing
at.
the Miami Vice theme.
Perfect.
Oh, no, that's Hawaii 5-0.
Yeah. I mean, it's on a boat. It counts.
I'm on a boat.
As far as stuff to mention, please check out the Win with Dice channel on YouTube, where we have gaming streams and a very fun tabletop RPG podcast with episodes every Wednesday. Also, like I had mentioned before, I was in a cyberpunk game on the Nowhere Productions channel. We just recorded the second part of that, so that's going to be out soon. So check out the first part, so you know what everything is. And with that, I will pass it up to Alex.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, everyone. We look forward to seeing people at Origins next week. We have lots of fun games on the calendar. Really fun mega event, hopefully, as long as I get everything finished this week and get it out to the people who need it. And yeah, I have faith. I got fired from my day job yesterday, so I've got time to get it all ready.
Sorry.
It's fine. Honestly, it sucked. It was the worst.
Oh,
Um,
it was one of those
Yeah.
bad or good fired.
It was a good firing. I mean, the whole month I worked there, I did not know my schedule for the next day until the night before.
I was gonna say, didn't you like just start this job?
Yeah. So, and based on me having another job and my life being a lot more complicated than I'm on call for minimum wage, it was not a good fit. So I'm very glad to not be there.
Yay.
And I will pass it to my partner in crime, Aunt Puppy.
I don't have anything to plug. I'll just see you guys at Origins next week. I'm running 2 games. Yeah, 2 games, and I still have, I think, like 5 or 6 character sheets left to make and 4 more traps to set. So I'm doing great. And I still got to print everything for both games and make a trophy. I didn't make a list, and so now I'm starting to panic. But just play a game. Gary?
Kind of sad that Star Knight isn't on the boat with the new breakers. Can't hide on a jet ski with them. It'd be better if it were a helicopter, and then it would be the Airwolf theme song, which is infinitely cool. So, don't have anything else other than that. Aaron?
All right. Well, then, until we see you guys back in a few weeks, keep rolling 20s. Night.